Hey everyone, Shaedow here, and welcome to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. So we finally made it. This is the last quest of Chapter 3 in Ultron's Assault, the variant difficulty. And you can see the team that I went in here with. It's pretty much the same team that I have been using on Chapter 3. Heimdall is there for, of course, his synergy and the cheat death everyone gets. Hela and Angela are there because of their synergy where when you do receive a fatal blow, you have a chance to heal back 20% of your health. And Corvis is there, of course, because he is just a beast. And Hulk Ragnarok, or Gladiator Hulk as we call him, is there for mainly the final bosses. The path that I chose was the one that I considered the easiest one for my team. There's a global node of fisticuffs, so in the beginning of the fight, you just have to play around that. There's not really much you can do. It's not that difficult, but you know, no debuffs or buffs early on. And you see that I went in here with my 3-star Heimdall. So of course I'm not thinking of taking out this vision with this 3-star Heimdall. I just went in here to kind of warm a thumbs up and to get him down early, because the synergy that I spoke of earlier, where you heal up 20% of your health, depending on how many champions on your team are down, that percentage goes up. So with no one down, you have a 20% chance to heal 20% of your health. With Heimdall down now, I have a 40% chance to heal up 20% of my health. So next up, I went in with Hela. Now my Hela is not awakened, but she's there for the synergy, and I also want her down because, again, that increases the chance that I will heal on a fatal blow. So not just survive it, but actually heal up a little bit so that I can go for a little longer, maybe even take a blocked hit or two. But I do also want to do as much damage to him as possible. You know, this is a 5-star Hela, but she's not ranked very high. I believe she's still ranked 2. But she can still do some damage. I'm not really a fan of Hela, but I've seen videos and she is capable of some crazy damage. But not in my hands. I don't know how to play her to her full potential. But any damage that I get to do, you know, to this OG Vision is less damage that I have to deal with later with my other champions. And of course, the person that I want to actually take out this Vision is Corvis. He will get 2 missions from this fight. And you saw that he blocked one of her specials. I'm not sure if I was just slow or if he recovered quickly. They have been recovering faster these days. All right, so you see I pushed him dangerously close to his special 3. This is not something you want to do. Then I stunned him, which is also something you don't want to do. And now, of course, he's not wanting to throw it. And there you go. He got his special 3. So one of the things that I've noticed with the AI, and you may have noticed it as well, is when they are close to their next special, it's harder to get them to throw their special. And he just got me in the corner and wrecked me. But like if you have 1 bar of power and you almost have 2, it seems to be a little bit more difficult to bait out that special 1 because they're so close to their special 2. Same thing when they're close to a special 3. But I just played that one pretty badly. Normally with OG Vision, you don't want to go past a bar and a little of power before you start baiting out his special 1. That way, if you're not able to bait it out and he does synthesize, he's not going to go straight on up. Like you see there wasn't really much I could do. I didn't see it in time, but I shouldn't have had him that far up. But again, I'm not trying to really take him down here. Angela, though, I probably could have finished him off with Angela. And you see the adrenaline in motion there. If you see her health bar and you see that portion of health that she's working back up towards, that's the adrenaline. So the more damage she can do, the more health she can recover. That is a very nice mechanic of the 6-star champions. All right, so at this point, I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing? I don't want to actually take him out. So you see there, I just let him take me down because I almost took him out, and I would have been so unhappy because Corvis needs these missions, and I had actually scouted out my path beforehand, and I knew that I could get all of my missions done with Corvis on the path that I had selected. So OG Vision is tech, and he's an Avenger. So just like that, I have 2 missions completed with Corvis. And if you don't know already, Corvis does a lot more damage as he completes missions. So each mission he completes, he gets a cruelty buff, as well as some benefits for the mission itself. But mainly what we're interested in is that cruelty buff, which increases his damage considerably. So here, you saw that I went ahead and just attacked her knowing she was going to evade. That's another mission. So this mission, once they have evaded or auto-blocked, you just need to knock them down with a special or a heavy attack. And you complete that mission before the fight is already completed. So you can see up at the top, I already got the mission. So he has that cruelty buff, and he is doing a lot more damage. Now I'm fighting her the way that I know to fight her. Baiting out her specials, her heavies, and then attacking her while that cooldown is in effect. Now, while Corvis has his glaive charges, he's immune to her shock. And because I have willpower, I'll actually heal up when she puts that shock debuff on me. But now, in a minute, yep, I ran out of glaive charges here. And so now her shock is doing damage, and my willpower is doing its best to minimize that, but you know, there's not a whole lot it's going to be able to do. So you can see there, I'm just taking a lot of shock damage. I stopped fighting the way that I knew to fight her. This is the time that you really want to fight her that way. When I had glaive charges, it didn't really matter. I could have just fought her, she could have evaded, put the shock on me, all good. But once I lost my glaive charges, for some reason, I stopped fighting the way that I should have fought and fought exactly the way that would hurt me the most. Go figure. Bad decisions all around. But we got her down, and I'm hurt, but still alive. Now, Omega Red. I do not like fighting Omega Red. I know how to fight him, but I don't like fighting anyone that takes me out of my comfort zone when it comes to fighting style. Now, if you've seen my fights, you know I have a very aggressive fighting style. I like to get in their face, stay in their face, back them up into the corner, and just continue to wreck them. So anytime I'm taken out of my game, I have to switch up my style a little bit. So you see here, I have to stay away from Omega Red. That's one of the problems. If you are in his face too long, he's going to get those death spores on you, and you're going to start taking a lot of damage, even Corvis. So you have to basically do hit and run tactics. Now, one comment earlier, you may have seen a buff happen. You know, you saw a little graphic effects. That's because I dashed back and held block for a second and a half. That's one of the synergies on the team. I forget. I think it's Angela and Hella. But it gives you an attack boost of like 15%. Very nice, especially for Corvis. But I got caught with that special 2, you know, got clipped in the end, and it was over with. Now, I didn't feel like dealing with anything else, and I wanted to get another mission. So I went ahead and just revived Corvis back up. And at this time, my goal is just to finish variant difficulty. So I have a bunch of revives. I haven't even cracked open at this point my free crystals. So I know I have the resources to finish this without using any units. So I went ahead and revived him. I did not heal him back up. I don't think I needed it. And healing potions are expensive. And at this point, I have more revives than I need, I feel. So down he goes, and I have all of my missions. So next up, we've got Nightcrawler. Now, normally, if I hadn't done all of the missions already, this would have given me 2 missions, possibly. I could have gotten a mutant mission done, and when he evades, I would have been able to get the evade mission done. But I'm already set, and so I went ahead and switched him to swashbuckling early. Normally, I wouldn't do that. I would let him evade first, then switch him, then hit him with a heavy, get my mission completed, and then finish off the rest of the fight. So once he is switched over into swashbuckling mode, he will not auto-evade. His auto-evade is so crazy. Him and classic Spider-Man are the ones that I hate the most. Now, I got a shout out from someone who, it was in the comment section of, I think, my last video, but they were telling me Proxima Midnight has a synergy with Corvis that gives him True Strike, which means I wouldn't have had to deal with any evades. Well, in this particular case, that would have actually been counterproductive because I want them to evade so that I can get the mission completed. Then I don't want them to evade anymore. But I will look into that Proxima synergy to see just how useful it can be. And you saw that I went ahead and activated the attack boost again, you know, dash back and held block. Now, he got switched again. So you see here, I switched him back once more. It was an accidental switching. And so I went ahead, fired off my L2, which is not going to do a whole lot of damage because I didn't have any glaive charges. Baited out that special 2. Now I can finish wrecking him. Don't need a special 2 here. And this almost cost me the fight. You see the problems connected to the network? That completely threw me off. You can see what it did to me. I was finishing the fight, and that popped up, and I was like, what in the world? And then I just started getting wrecked. If I had died right there, I would have been so pissed. Fortunately, he did not throw his special 3, and I was able to finish the fight. All right, so next up, we've got our drone, and we're going to have to deal with Tranquility. Now, Tranquility is annoying for Corvis, but you see that Starburst? Gladiator Hulk on a Starburst node is king. I don't know anyone else that does Starburst nodes better than Gladiator Hulk. Now, my Gladiator Hulk is only a rank 3 5-star. But just watch how well he does. Now, if you don't know, Gladiator Hulk has an ability, that Face Me that you always hear about, or maybe you haven't heard about it. But when he gets a passive degen on him, so that is Starburst, that's Magic's Limbo, that's Dormammu's degen, basically any passive degen, he activates Face Me. And what that does is he heals up instantly 70% of the damage he takes, and he gets an attack boost. So he's taking less damage and he's hitting harder just for that Starburst. So, of course, I was going to bring my Gladiator Hulk in here for these Starburst nodes. Again, I had already scouted it out. I knew this is the path I was going to take. And I also heard that he was really good for the final boss. We will see when we get there. But as you can see here, he is rocking this Starburst. You see how his health just goes down and goes right back up because he's healing it instantly. I love Gladiator Hulk. Now, outside of, specific fights like, the Starburst and, the passive degen, he doesn't have a whole lot of use over some other champions. But when you do have to face Starburst, and that's also map 6, the last section, path 9 and 10, if you do have to face Starburst and you have Gladiator Hulk, bring him. Even if you have a 4-star Gladiator Hulk, rank him up to 550, bring him. He is worth it. All right, so again, we're going to deal with Starburst. Now, this fight is a little bit trickier. This is Killmonger, and he is annoying to fight at the best of times, okay? So remember, we have to deal with fisticuffs, but that reverberation, sorry, I don't know how, I sometimes stumble over that word there, but that reverberation is very annoying, and many times I'm not going to even try to deal with it. So what I decided to do here is just go in and attack like normal and not try to play around it. So you see the face me activating a lot. So that is going to help me, deal with that damage. So all I've done is just go and fight him straight up, and normally you would want to wait out the the reverberation, and you see how he fires off that special 2. He goes invulnerable, and so that just takes even longer. So I already knew that this fight was going to be a long fight, and I didn't want it to be any longer. Now, I could have brought in Corvis. Corvis armor breaks him. You don't have to deal with that reverberation, but I would have had to deal with the Starburst, but the fight would have been over even faster. And I was tempted to do that. I do not like long fights, as I've told you guys many times. And it's actually worth it to me to spend a little bit and get these guys down a little bit faster. And I was tempted to do that, but I chose to go with Gladiator Hulk just to save some resources. But I'll tell you, halfway through this fight, I was regretting it. My eyes were drooping, my attention was wandering, and I was like, when will this fight be over? It's just going on and on. I hate it. Yes, I probably have adult ADD, somewhat like that. Never got officially diagnosed, but I have all of the symptoms. So kind of a self-diagnosis. But in any case, yeah, I do not like long fights, and I will tend to lose focus. Now, sometimes I can keep the focus for long fights. I've had 20-minute fights where, I've completed it just fine. Fortunately, this wasn't a 20-minute fight, but I remember when I had to fight, I was fighting Winter Soldier in Realm of Legends, and I was using a low-level Ghost Rider, just kind of showcasing what he could do. And that fight with that Ghost Rider lasted about 20 minutes. I would heal up constantly, over and over again, fire off the special 3, wash, rinse, and repeat. But that fight, I don't want to deal with that kind of fight anymore. And I had my fill of long fights in Labyrinth of Legends. I did not have fun in Labyrinth of Legends. There were a few fights that I did enjoy, but I did not like it because the fights were long, and that evade mechanic, very, very annoying. But we made it through this fight. As you can see, Gladiator Hulk, his health is low because, again, I'm not trying to play around that reverberation armor of Killmonger there. And Face Me, I just relied on Face Me to keep me in reasonably good health. You know, it's not a full heal. It's only 70%. So you're still going to slowly go down in health. So next up, we've got Dormammu. Now, Gladiator Hulk is a Dormammu killer. He is awesome for fighting Dormammu. I made a video when I first got Gladiator Hulk and ranked him up in Alliance War and fought like 2 Dormammus in a row, but I was still getting used to fighting Dormammus even, as well as fighting with Gladiator Hulk. And at the time, my device was really laggy, and so I was dealing with a lot other than just the fight. But as you saw, I went in with a very little bit of health, but the synergy kept me alive and gave me a little bit more health, so I actually have more health now than I started the fight with. And so I'm just taking it to this Dormammu. And that power drain is annoying, but just look at what Gladiator Hulk is able to do even with this low health. Gladiator Hulk is definitely my favorite for fighting Dormammu. I know Blade can do it as well, but honestly, I prefer Gladiator Hulk over Blade when it comes to fighting Dormammu. And of course, for this chapter, I couldn't have brought Blade anyway. And down I went to a mistake. I was trying to get some distance, dashed back at the wrong time, and he pounced, and that was that. Now, I could have brought in Corvis, could have ranked him, healed him up and all that good stuff. But I'm like, no, Gladiator Hulk, I just have fun fighting Dormammu with Gladiator Hulk. So I went ahead and revived Gladiator Hulk so he can get some more of that Dormammu. And I didn't heal up because, again, I had the revives. I had more than enough revives to brute force my way through. And I was not about to use up a whole lot of health potions. I had not farmed any health potions at all. So whatever I had in my stash, that's all I had. So I'm just taking it to this Dormammu and finishing him off with Gladiator Hulk. Look at that, smash. Down he goes. I definitely like Gladiator Hulk. I'm definitely a Hulk fanboy. OG Hulk, love OG Hulk, grew up on OG Hulk. And Gladiator Hulk, when I heard he was coming out, if you look on my channel, you'll see it's the first and the last time I ever did this. I actually spent units, about 8,000 units, trying to get Gladiator Hulk when he first came out. And I did not even get a 4-star version of him. That was a lesson learned, and I never did that again. All right, so now you see here, I'm going in here against Wasp, and I know how to fight her. I've talked to you guys about fighting her before. There's no difference. You see there, I activated the attack boost from the synergy, and I'm just trying to bait out her heavies here. But because my health is so low, I can't take blocked hits that I would need. And then, of course, you have that tranquility, so I'm not going to be building up anything. So you see there, I just took a chance. I have the glaive charges, so I'm not going to die if she evades like that. But it's still annoying. So now, I'm just baiting out once I got her to her special one. And now, we can try to get that, rotation going. As long as I have those glaive charges, I'm not too worried about her evading, but I still like to keep into practice and not have a lot of evades, but I have to get her to her special one because I'm not having a whole lot of luck baiting out her heavies, and I can't take blocked hits. So my strategy here is, while I have glaive charges, and now I don't have any glaive charges, but while I have them, to get her to her special one and bait out that special. But now, of course, we don't have any glaive charges, so we will take damage, and that tranquility is going to make it difficult to get her to her special one and bait out the special. But we got her to her special one here, and we were able to bait it out before tranquility took away all our power. And then I went ahead and fired off my special before I lost power. And that's pretty much what I had to do. Just a lot of dancing around. And this was an annoying fight because of that. But it was a challenge. And I definitely had a little bit of fun fighting this one. You saw I took a blocked hit there. But it was worth it because it got her on that evade cooldown so that I was able to do some damage. Now, we danced around enough so that I have my charges back, and it was over with. So pretty much all I was doing for most of that fight, once my glaive charges went down, was trying to survive until they came back up. All right, this next fight, guys, was annoying. I do not like this fight at all. Okay, the only thing that made this fight so annoying was that aspect of war. That aspect of war, oh my goodness. Well, you guys read what that does. So you have a limited amount of time to do damage before he's going to be completely unblockable and your block proficiency will be down to 0. Okay, so Hulk is not normally difficult to fight, but with the node buffs, this fight became very painful. What it also does, as you will see, is every time he throws a special, he goes unstoppable. And you can remove that unstoppable by intercepting. And if you miss the intercept, of course, that's it for you. And I don't try that. I usually try to wait out the unstoppable. All right, so all I'm doing at this point is trying to get him down. And, you know, Corvis is doing some good work. And see, I wasn't able to punish that special like I normally would because he was unstoppable. Now he's unblockable. And my block proficiency, non-existent. So now we've got to try to, you know, bait out heavies and specials, intercept like you see me doing there. You know, just basically taking it to him, trying to do as much damage, but I don't have any glaive charges. And so I said, you know what, just go ahead and take me out because I don't like long fights. I already fought a very long fight. I didn't take any breaks. And so I'm just like, okay, I'm done. Now, I go in here with Corvis again because what I decided to do at this point was just to brute force my way through this fight. And when I explore this chapter, when I explore this quest in particular, that's probably what I'm going to continue doing. Now, I don't know who you guys will bring in. Obviously, if you bring in Corvis, you can use this same method and just brute force it down. You know, just try to use up his glaive charges. And once the glaive charges are done, then wash, rinse, and repeat. So my goal here, and I got caught there, that wasn't part of the plan, but my goal is just to fire as many special 2s as I can. Usually it's going to be 1 before I get taken down. But because you're restricted to cosmic and science for this chapter, Corvis obviously is going to be a very good option if you have him. But if you don't, Captain America Infinity War would probably be a good option for this fight as well. And you saw I basically just, my attention wandered a little bit and I got simultaneously woke up by the clap and put to sleep by the clap. But again, I've got the revives. I just went ahead, used another revive. There's no point to healing him up because all I'm trying to do is as much damage as I can just to get him down. So he's going to be fun when I come back to do this exploration. You know, maybe by the time I actually get there, I'll have a better option coming in. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring Captain America Infinity War. I only have him as a 4-star, but he might do very well, even though his damage won't be all that great. And you see here, something that a lot of people don't realize is that Corvis has a little bit of a power drain. You saw that I pushed him to a special 3, and then I fired off my special 2, and it drained a little bit of his power. So that's a nice little buffer. Now you see I'm starting to intercept again, and just till I can use up the charges. So I'm in survival mode at this point, but oops, he's unblockable, and he puts me to sleep. I hate Aspect of War with a passion. Very, very annoying, but he's almost down. So I'm thinking one more run at him, and we should be done, and then we get to fight the boss. Alright, so he's got a little bit of health here. So I'm just going to go right on in here. Obviously, fisticuffs means that for the first portion of this fight, I can't get a stun on him, you know, parry stun, which is what I like to do. So I went ahead and baited out a heavy from him, just took some blocked hits. And here we go. Boom. And that's that Hulk down. Use a few level 1 revives. Not too big of a deal, but I'm going to try to narrow that down, cut that down when I explore it. But if not, I've got the units. I'll just go ahead and brute force it down if I have to. All right, so now we come to the final boss, and this guy is annoying. He's got limber. He's got that EMP modification. That EMP modification, I admit that when I went in here the first time, I didn't fully understand it, but I heard that Gladiator Hulk was a beast for this fight. And just looking back on this, he is. But the way that I played him, probably not so much. But even then, you should be able to see that he is a very useful champion for this final fight. Now, Corvis also, because again, I can do a lot of damage. Now, you saw Corvis went in there with just a little bit of health. Now, the problem here is that I'm going to be using up my glaive charges. Once I do, that shock that he is putting on me, then it's going to kill me. So Corvis, not a great option simply because of that. Once his glaive charges are down, like you see, they're down now. So watch this. Very soon, boom. Shock, down. So Corvis, not the best counter, but if you want to brute force it, you can. Look at the health that I took off with that Corvis. All right, so now let's compare Gladiator Hulk. Now, Gladiator Hulk, mine is only a rank 3, so he'd be even better as a rank 4. And for this fight, when I explore it, I may actually turn on suicide. They may actually help out quite a bit. You know, they'll help Corvis out for sure, and they may help out this Gladiator Hulk as well. And you see there, I went down to the shock. Again, that was me just playing the fight badly. Remember, this is the first time I'm actually going up against this Ultron. So I'm like, okay, let me give Gladiator Hulk another shot here. Because he just started with too little health, so I went ahead and used a few health potions just so that he could last a little bit longer. And this was sort of a research mission for me, because I didn't notice whether he was getting a lot of face me's in the last attempt, but this time I wanted to pay more attention to whether he was getting face me triggered. All right, so I was getting that attack buff up. You saw it just there. And I was waiting out the fisticuffs. Now it's done, so now I can parry him. And I'm just basically going in, but I'm watching to see when he puts that shock on me. Okay, there it is. And you see face me. All right, so look at Hulk go. So he's definitely an option here. Probably one of the better options for this fight. So if you have a Gladiator Hulk and you're already going to have to deal with other you know, Starburst and everything, you may as well bring him if you have him. And down I went to block damage. I was too busy looking up and looking around and just took that blocked hit. And I don't think I had Face Me active, and so it just took me out. So at this point, I'm like, okay, Gladiator Hulk is a very viable option for this, but I had more fun and it was faster with Corvis. Now again, I probably should have turned on suicides here and really just went in. That would have made the fight much faster, and I probably would have taken less resources. But down I went. That was a very bad attempt. I didn't even get a chance to fire off my special 2, which is the goal for every single attempt on this final Ultron. And again, I want to mention that of the Ultrons, this is the Ultron I hate the most. He is the worst one to fight because of his evade, and that is why I was actually thinking about Proxima Midnight synergy, where I wouldn't have to deal with his evade. There's enough to deal with on this node without having to deal with his evade. All right, so you see there, this time I just went ahead and went aggressive. Didn't wait out the fisticuffs, but again, I'm just getting tagged. I just don't understand what was going on. Maybe I was just tired and I needed to take a break. But if it wasn't for that Heimdall synergy, it would have gone even worse for me. But I kept saying over and over in my mind as I was fighting this guy, we're about to be done. This will be our initial clear, and then we can take our time doing the exploration. Because of course I'm going to start at chapter 1 and work my way up. And I had an easier time with a lot of those chapters, but we'll see. Not looking forward to fighting Korg, I'll tell you that. I remember seeing a Korg in there. Not looking forward to that, but it'll be good practice anyway. And since I did this, I actually opened up 300 uncollected arena crystals. Take a look at that. It's on my channel. But I got a ton of units from it. So I actually have enough units to fully explore all of this. In fact, Labyrinth of Legends itself, I did Labyrinth of Legends 3,000 units per path, and the only reason it took me that much is because I basically didn't wait to build up a stash. Once I did the easy path with no units spent, I then, one day after another, went back in there and completed a path. And then I was using Starkey, so I used a lot of units to purchase health potions to keep Starkey over a half health, just so that the fights could go a little longer. Remember I said I don't like long fights, and it's worth it to me, so I didn't have to spend that much. But it was worth it to get it down and done. But I have a little over 10,000 units, and right now I have not spent any units on this quest. And I'm almost done as of this recording with chapter 1 full exploration. And still no units spent, and I haven't opened up all of my uncollected free crystals. I have opened up about 100 of them. So I have a little over 200 left to open up. But 10,000 units, I should be able to easily finish this off. I just have to buckle down and get it done. All right, but we're coming to the final moments of this fight. As you can see, his health is nice and low. And again, I'm just brute forcing this thing in. Corvis has enough charges to finish off this Ultron. And here we go. And down he goes. And that is my initial clear of Ultron's Assault variant difficulty. So that's going to do it, guys. Click like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this video. I hope this video was helpful to you in your own run. It is difficult, but if you have the champions, if you have the right champions ranked up, it's not going to be that bad. Take a look at the rewards for the initial clear. That's why I left it in. See if it's worth it to you. How many units would you spend to get these rewards? And you guys have a blessed day.